Hello, it's an amazing weekend just after the international break. Football is back, especially the Premier League, where we love to talk about often. It will be amazing to see all the games coming through for Saturday and Sunday. Let me just run it down as fast as I can to let you understand. Nottingham Forest are playing host to Chelsea at the City Ground. It will be Brighton and Hove Albion at the Amex Stadium to take on Newcastle United. Burnley at the Tough Moor will host Leeds United and will see Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park to play against the FC Bournemouth. At the Etihad, it will be interesting to see Manchester City play host to Everton, while Sunderland understands what they need to do. The Black Cast takes on the Wolf, who will come out superior. We'll wait to find out. It will be interesting also to see Fulham take on Arsenal at the Craven Cottage. An interesting fixture coming through. Welcome to the program Sports Preview on Buma Community Voice. Don't forget that it's proudly sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. Yes, MaxBet are the proud sponsors, and we are moving straight up to where I'll be introducing the crew that will be helping out with the analysis of all of this. It's interesting also that we'll be looking at what will be the likely outcome of games in the Premier League on the program. So I urge you to keep watching. Because it will be interesting, exciting, and also very analytical. My name is Oji Orfadw, and I'll be your host. I'll be working alongside CI Zoro and the man Born Free Joe. Don't go away. Okay, let's get going. I told you that the program is probably sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. We'll be starting up with the fixture coming through between Manchester City. Before we get into it, a brief introduction. You know them are very much regulars on this one, very much part and parcel of all we do here, and they are the ones that are making everything bang. See you, Zoro. Good to have you. And of course, the man Born Free Joe. You believe that Nigeria are in the playoffs, but that will be a talk for another time. Let's talk about City, who return to the Premier League action, aiming to solidify themselves as title contenders once again. While Peterborough Everton look to keep building momentum, Everton, they are not starting in the best possible way. But of course, we can see that the coach David Moyes is doing the best that he can. But we understand that City wants to challenge for this title, and they've started off on a good note. What are we to expect in a fixture like this one?
And for me, I think City playing at home has not lost to Everton in their last 8 encounter the past year. So for me, playing Everton at Etihad is like a walkover for them, coupled with the kind of the team they possess. You know, the kind of players they possess in Haaland, the likes of Haaland in the team. You know what he can do at any point in time. He can do every damage to any team that comes his way. And you know that presently City sits in their last 6 games, they've managed to win 4 and drew 2 in their last 6. It's a plus to them. One on the other side for Everton, they lost in their last 6. They've lost 2. It's not really going juicy for them. So I think City has a better chance of getting the whole day in this game. All 3 points.
Okay, City with a better chance of probably getting all 3 points in that fixture.
Except something changes in terms of history. I think Everton under David Moyes, let's talk about David Moyes specifically, has actually lost all his visits, last 8 visits to the Etihad Stadium, and I think that says a lot about him. Now, City, on the other hand, with or without David Moyes, has been unbeaten in their last 17 head-to-heads, winning about 14 of them, and then drawing 3, which actually says a lot about City at this particular point. So I think Everton have what I would call a skill window chance, considering the fact that Everton has equally been the most fouled side in Premier League history ahead of each of these kind of rounds. I think at this particular point, Everton should employ whatever it is they could to be able to see that they create a particular change. At least they say, if your village people they chase you, make you for go back, go pray, equip yourself before you go that village again. So that now waiting at the Everton at this point.
Yeah, one thing to expect, bro. We must talk about Erling Haaland. He's a very, very superb goal scorer.
Scoring back to back.
In fact, a lot of persons are branding him the all-time best goal scorer in the Premier League history. He got a hat trick in the international break for Norway, and he has scored in each of his last five home goals for City after halftime. So we must understand that he will make a huge difference in a fixture like this one. Rodri is sidelined once again with injury for City, while on loan Everton winger Jack Grealish is not able to face his parents' club. You know how old that was. So Grealish, who is like their main man, is in a very tough form, will be sitting out because he will be facing City, his parent club. And I think that will come at a cost for the team Everton. Let's just move away from that a bit and look at what happens when tabletoppers Arsenal, when they look to strengthen their Premier League title push by stretching that impressive winning goal against Fulham. We all know where your Arsenal wants to be. It's they want to push for that Premier League title. Let's talk about City looking like a team that wants to contend for the title. We are talking about Arsenal now. The Fulham. We saw Alex Iwobi on international duty for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We saw Kevin Bassey also, and we also saw Samuel Chukwueze providing as much assist as possible for Victor Osimhen. That tells you about form in the three of them who plays for the same team, especially Victor, especially Samuel Chukwueze there. If you look at it, so let's talk about what to expect. I feel like it will be a very, very strong opponent for Arsenal to cross when they go to Craven Cottage.
Yeah, Arsenal and Fulham has been a tug of war. Win me today, I win you tomorrow. Win me today, I win you tomorrow. In 2023.
Well, I beg your pardon, Fulham have just won one of their last 14 Premier League.
From 2003, I'm going from 2003.
Because you're saying
no, that's why I made mention of 2003. That was when I made mention of 2003, when they won at home 2-1 against Arsenal, and they went to the Emirates. They went to the Emirates. They went to the Emirates. They got a 1-1 draw, and also went to Emirates again. In the first leg of the second leg of the 2024 season, 25 season, they got a 2-1 lose to Arsenal. That's why I said we meet today, we lose tomorrow. For Arsenal are in a tough form. Considering what the Trey Lions, the players, majorly the Trey Lions possesses majorly Arsenal team.
What kind of talk is this? What kind of talk? Please, how many Arsenal players are there?
There are three there.
So that's the majority.
No, the majority. When you say Trey Lions, and you know from
23 players, 3 is the majority of the squad.
When I say major,
You don't want
the likes of Saka.
Okay, Saka was
So what Rice?
I know you was going to call Rice.
So these are players that have made weight. Relax. I'm talking about players that can. At every point in time, the Trey Lions must look up to them.
Well,
and we have Nigeria this thing play also for them.
Let's talk about
when you talk about Saka,
let's talk about the game against
Why I'm saying that is that presently in the international break, Saka was on form, as in on form. When you say on form, he's on top of the form, not even on top of the form.
Okay.
So scoring back to back in all their fixtures. This is still going to replicate it in this fixture. So I don't see Fulham getting anything from this, getting anything out away from this match. But I still give it up that Arsenal may concede the goal, but not losing the game entirely. I say Arsenal should win.
Okay, what's your take? Arsenal and Fulham, don't mind all what I said. He's speaking from both sides of the mouth.
So basically, I think Arsenal has had one of the best ones before the international break, having won 2-0 over West Ham, and I think it's equally a boost for them. But let's talk about Fulham right now. Fulham has just won one of their last 14 Premier League head-to-heads, drawing 4 and losing 9 as against Arsenal. And then Arsenal scoring in each of their last 20 games in this particular competition at the Cottage, against the Cottage, is is something that would probably give Arsenal that particular strength.
Yeah, I feel like anytime they still have got an edge in this fixture, no doubt.
But I want to say
But we
something.
must also highlight what Marco Silva can do with his Fulham side on a good day. But of course, in the last few games that they've been able to pit against one another, not been an easy ride for Fulham, I believe. But I just have a problem with the fact that Godfrey is trying to revolve it all around Saka, all around Rice, and making it a total Arsenal affair. I don't think so. I honestly feel like Fulham will come to the party with.
Remember, they were played 3-1 at some point before the international break. Now I'm talking about Fulham. Now this what I'm trying to say now is Fulham can only succeed if Arsenal comes into that play with a relaxed mind.
Well,
you understand?
A
relaxed mind in the sense that this is people we actually know we are going to win anytime.
I wanted to also add that after the international break, big teams struggle. We always see that happen because I feel like they get more of the game time, they get more of the tough games. I mean, players in the big teams. You cannot compare what happens in these World Cup qualifiers from big goals to what happens with some of the players who sat out of these qualifiers, because of form and all of that. So I feel like all of that will come to play. But let's not dwell so much on Arsenal. Let's talk about Chelsea for the moment. They'll be up against Nottingham Forest in that interesting encounter. Many predicted Nottingham Forest was Ange Postecoglou would be dismissed from his post over the international break, but he wasn't sacked. And now he's working again after international break, and it will be to play against Chelsea, the team that is rival to the team that he once coached at Spurs. Now, I feel like Chelsea's time to get all the 3 points of the bonus that Nottingham Forest is sharing, because it's Chelsea's game that Ange Postecoglou is still at the helm at Forest, because I feel like he's playing well with the team, but he's not winning games, and it's all about the points. If you must stay in the league, this is a team that is playing in Europe this season, and they're looking like they will relegate it. So I feel like it's all Chelsea's game to lose. They have to go into it in the best possible way and see what they can get in there.
Well, for me, I think it's what you said is true. Nottingham Forest have played; they've not won any of their last 9 games. Any of them, they've not gotten a win in their last 9 games.
Yeah,
that's the worst a team can be.
And then Postecoglou has lost all 4 of his Premier League managerial meetings with Chelsea.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Chelsea right now is on fire, winning 2 straight. They won 2 straight games in a row now. Just winning 2 straight. So they are on fire. But one thing that you like what you said, rightly said before, that after international breaks, teams suffer. Right? Some of these teams struggle.
But even at that particular point, Chelsea at this point might not have much of a problem. Let me repeat what you said. You said that Postecoglou has, in his last 4 Premier League managerial meetings with Chelsea, against Chelsea, he has never won any of them. Now, to make matters worse, he has been at the top bottom of the Premier League. You understand? Now, at the bottom of the Premier League, considering the fact that he has had less of the victories and more of the technical know-how, but less of the victories. Now, let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea has only won 3 of their last 4 away games. So Chelsea has been on fire away from Stamford Bridge, and this would make his 3 successful away league head-to-heads for the first time ever. That's if they succeed to win Nottingham Forest, of which I am thinking that with the way and style at which Chelsea is coming, they have higher chances of winning. The only problem is, before the international break, it became more like a custom for Chelsea not to leave any match without a red card. So if that happens again, then Chelsea's at a higher risk. But then if it doesn't, that they have a change of whatever it is technically I think Chelsea has a higher chance of winning Nottingham Forest. Why I said if the red card might affect is because we notice that the Chelsea manager, once red card comes in, becomes totally confused. He does unnecessary changes. He starts panicking.
We must always understand why the red card in the first place. So if he organizes his team to be very disciplined and don't play themselves into trouble, then the red cards won't come to bring even some panicky situations. I feel like it's the manager's fault.
Him as a coach to get a red card, then he's still
Yeah, also, and let's also be reminded that he won't be in the dugout for Chelsea because he's on a one-match ban. But let's talk about the bit about Extevalo. Mourinho said he's one of the brightest young stars in world football now. Do you agree?
He's young. He has it working for him, but he needs more play time to improve more because considering the fact that the person he is supposed to cover is more what's the word is more strategic when he does his passes. I think he needs to learn. I don't know if you understand my point. He covers Cole Palmer, and we know the impact Cole Palmer actually plays in that particular team. So if Estevao could be able to create as much chances as what Cole Palmer sees passes when nobody sees the passes come through. So if Estevao could be able to do that as a Brazilian player who wants to, you understand, succeed, then they were good for something bright. But right now, what I see is a good player, not with doubt. But what I see is somebody who wants to always do the tackle, and sometimes after the tackle does not give good deliveries.
You're talking about do the dribble.
Yes, do the dribble. I beg your pardon. After that, he doesn't give what I would call good deliveries. Now, I feel with time he will improve because he's a good player, not with doubt. But he equally needs to learn from Palmer because we all see Palmer's impact is always very, very significant. You understand? So I think Mourinho is right because Chelsea wouldn't have done such a move if it wasn't worth it. Mourinho is right, but then the boy is a young boy. He has time to be able to improve.
Of course, they're putting in the same bracket with the likes of Lamine Yamal and just all the big guys, the Euro and the rest.
Yeah, having played 6 games with 1 goal and 1 assist, it's a plus for him. A youngster.
Starting from the bench.
Yeah,
I feel like the games that he started before for Chelsea was the game that the red card came and he was substituted early. But let's talk about missions that I know will not be available for Nottingham Forest as well as Cole Palmer, who has missed their Chelsea's last 4 games. So we hope for the quick recovery for him. Let's just move away from there and talk about older games. I would want us to pay a very, very serious attention to the game between Liverpool and Manchester United. I feel like that's where we need to spend a lot of time on the program talking about the Premier League game this weekend. Another chapter of one of English football's most heated rivalries. Waiting when Liverpool hosts Manchester United. With the visitors surprisingly carrying the better form going into this clash. You know how the games between Liverpool and United can be, especially with that river. You know, they share boundary. To be a United fan and to be a Liverpool fan, it's 2 different things. Like the rivalry ranges beyond just football. I mean, there's a fishing waters where the Merseyside and the Manchester people are very much after. A lot of vested interest. So this fixture goes just beyond football. But let's talk about it and see what you feel because that's like the match of the weekend.
I think for me, I see a Liverpool trying to triumph again after what played out in their last fixture, their first leg of their last season game that played in 2024, where Liverpool got three goals without Man U replying 1. I hope it doesn't happen again. And the next leg ended a 2-2 draw. But with what is happening to Liverpool presently, I think Slot and his men they're not finding it easy this time around. Having lost three straight losses is not something to a team like Liverpool should be facing at this time. But on the other side for Amorim is trying to get his gear back, winning his last game before the international break. It's a plus for him. So I think this time around he may want to play a different game to get something away from this Liverpool game.
Okay, let's put it this way. First of all, Liverpool have lost just one of their last 14 head-to-heads against Manchester United. That's winning 7 and drawing 6, and then none of their last 9 at home has been lost at all. So, which means they've won 4 and drawn 5 at home. So, this is to say that they probably will become the second side after Chelsea in the Premier League history to avoid defeat in 10 consecutive home games against Manchester United. That is if they actually win this. Now, remember, they are equally before the international break anyway. They have really been in form, So, let's say Liverpool, except they tried this their strategy that casted before the international break. If they continue with that strategy, then Manchester United might take advantage of that because Manchester United has this strategy of trying to score, and then once they do, they hold you guys down to it, and So if Liverpool starts to score early at this point, I think they will have upper hand against Manchester United in this particular terrain because Liverpool has this, just like I said, none of the Liverpool's 9 games were decided by 2 goals plus margin. You understand? So I think they will have more advantage if they consider some of these things or one of these things that I just said about scoring early to be able to maintain a particular status quo against Manchester United.
Okay. First, I would want us to look at Alisson, who could only return from Liverpool now the next month. There are still concerns about injury situation for Ibrahima Konate's fitness and withdrawal from international duty. We're hearing news about Musa Mizraoui contention to return for United. That will wipe all of the injury status of United. But Liverpool, I feel like Alisson's absence is one of the reasons why they are going through this moment. I feel like the new goalkeeper is not living up to expectation, maybe. Or don't you think it's got anything to do with the goalkeeper situation?
I think goalkeepers are not really the influencers of every game most times because you have a defense that once your defense is good, believe me, you have the best keeper in the world.
Yes, once your defense is good, you have good keepers. But then there are some goalkeepers that are, would I use the word inexperienced or just too porous or just lack of form, because some of them concede more than they ought to, even with the best defense.
And there are very much primary schoolboy mistakes as a goalkeeper. When you do positioning, arranging your wall, being at the right place at the right time, reflexes that makes you a good goalkeeper. And because of the experience, that's why they say good goalkeepers grow with time, just like fine wine. You see them when they age, they get more experience, and they can jump around here and there and get it done. The only game I feel like I would want us to, say our mind on is this particular match. What are you predicting? Where do you think the pendulum will swing in?
I think I see anything 12.
Okay.
I think anything.
Okay, anything to be able to get a win there. What's okay?
At this point, I feel it's going to be between the both of them. When I say between the both of them, I mean a draw match, considering the fact that Liverpool is resilient, but we cannot predict what might have happened after the international break. And then Manchester United has had this particular format, and we still cannot predict what will have happened after the international break. So let's just keep it at the square level where both divisions, yes.
Okay, also I feel like it should be a game for Liverpool to bounce back to where it should belong. I think anytime, any day, even when a team is in a very bad form, when they get to meet in rivalry games, the form sparkles. They can just play one rivalry game right and go back to who they used to be. And I feel like they understand how much damage this loss will do to their title challenge. And I feel like they will give it just their very all in that fixture. having said that, let me also remind you that the program sponsor review of Bua Community Voice is probably sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. Yes, MaxBet are the sponsors. I can't thank you guys enough for being a huge part of this one. Let's leave it at this one and see if at all the predictions can come through. Let's leave it at one. Thank you very much, John, for it. Thank you so much, CI Zero. It's amazing. And of course, to you, Edison, who was very much behind the camera, we say thank you. And we urge you all to keep supporting what we do here in every way possible. My name is W. I say adios.